Using string methods. This is Dr. Phelps from Georgia College and State University. The problem. Write a program that asks the user to enter the city where Georgia College is located. Report the number of characters in the city's name. Report the first character of the city. Report the last character of the city. For example, your code will say, in what city is Georgia College located? If the user types in Milledgeville, it should report that there are 13 letters in Milledgeville. Milledgeville begins with the letter M. Milledgeville ends with the letter E. If I run the code again, and when I'm prompted this time, I'm going to say Macon because there is a Macon campus. The result should be there are 5 letters in Macon. Macon begins with the letter M. Macon ends with the letter N. The goal of this problem is to demonstrate you know how to use the following methods found in the string class. The first method is the length method. The length method returns the number of characters in the string. The next method is the charAt method. charAt method accepts an integer position and returns the character at a specified position. So let's begin declaring our variables. First we have int num letters. I'm declaring a memory cell to hold the length here, and I'm calling it num letters. It's going to be an integer. Then I have a memory cell to store the first letter. I'm going to call it first letter, and it's a char type. Then I'm going to have a character that is used for the last letter, to store the last letter. I'm calling it last letter. Now notice here that I've initialized those to different values. I didn't necessarily have to do that. So I could have just said int num letters, char first letter, char last letter. I just did an initial value so that you can see what type of data it would hold. I'm going to overwrite that later on in the code. Next, I'm going to declare a string object named city. Now, city is an object, okay? It will hold the address of a memory cell. Right now, city has an address of null. It's not pointing to anything. City will reference the string the user enters. So if we have in what city is Georgia College located displayed on the screen, when the user types in Milledgeville, I'm going to read that in using keyboard.nextLine method, and when I'm going to store the address of that string in city. So city stores the address of the memory cell that has Milledgeville. Next, I'm going to store the length of the string in num letters. The answer is num letters equals city dot length. City is the string object, and length is the method name. So length will get the return the number of characters in the string object city. It stores a 13 in num letters. Next, I'm going to store the very first letter of the city. The answer is first letter equals city.charAt 0. City is a string object dot charAt, the method name. And in parentheses, I'm placing 0. Notice that each character in the string is at a different position. The first one is 0. Then each character is at a different position. The last one here in this example is at position 12. So if there are 13 letters, 13 characters in the string, the first one is at 0 and the last one is at 12. The first character in a string is always at position 0. So when we say first letter equals city.charAt 0, we're getting the M, and that was going to be stored in first letter. So the value we had in there was replaced with M. Now let's look at the last letter of the city. The answer is last letter equals city.charAt num letters minus 1. We're using the variable that we already know, num letters, in our equation. Here city is a string object, dot, and then we have the method name that we're going to use, charAt. So we've used num letters has 13 in it. So 13 minus 1 is 12. And it would give us the character at the 12th position. The last character in the string is always at the length of the string minus 1 because the first character begins at 0. To calculate the very last character, just take the length of the string, subtract 1 from it. So this statement here, last letter equals city.charAt num letters minus 1, would then end result of having the character E in last letter. So there we go. So this is the solution. In our code here, after we read in the city, we then store the num letters in the length of the city in num letters, the very first character in first letter, and the very last character in the variable last letter. And then we can display the values in the format specified. Hopefully this has been of help to you.